Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Tanya Love Show. I hope everyone is having a fabulous December so far. Let's all send love to Amnon because he's got a little tickle in his throat today, and I think a lot of us are feeling some ascension symptoms these days, so maybe just sending love to everybody as we're shifting and taking in higher light frequencies. And on that note, actually, that is what I feel guided to talk about today is we're going to talk a little bit about belief systems and how they affect us and how we are in a space of dropping old paradigms and old belief systems that aren't really working for us anymore. And the big question is, what does the new earth look like? What does it feel like for each of you? And that we all are a very important aspect of co-creating that experience. And I'm going to start by saying I've had some very interesting things over the past couple weeks, and I don't recall if I said this last week or not, but I had a few experiences, I believe I did mention it, where I had some past life memories of being in connected with different star systems, and one of them was the Sirian star system, and the other was Andromeda. And what's interesting is just how everything always works with, like, when you're connected on something and then you're opening up to understanding it more, you have synchronicities and things come in to bring confirmation. And last night I had this really concerning dream, which I've had these dreams before. And typically when I have dreams about planetary destruction and natural storms and things like that, I go into meditation and I just talk to the earth. I connect with the elements, the water, the wind, and call in the angels. And I just thank Spirit for bringing everything into the highest alignment possible, calling forth the protection and that everyone will go through these shifts with as little damage as possible, and that there will be, I know the planet is doing a lot of cleansing herself, and sometimes that takes lives and things change with weather and things like that. But what I've learned to do is not to go into fear, but to really go into my alignment with Source and to focus on what I want and what I would like to happen. And so in my dream last night, I saw a lot of destruction on the coastlines and huge waves, like tall as buildings. And it was very concerning, and I woke up sweaty and just sat straight up and was like going into healing on the whole thing. And in the past when this has happened, there was a situation once where the same exact kind of dream happened, and it was Hawaii. And I feel like it was Hawaii again. And in the past, I had sat up and did some healing and just talked to the water and asked the water to please spread its energy and not to hit the coast as hard as it was going to, because there was lives that would be taken. And I talked to the earth and thanked her for releasing as gently as possible. And a couple days later, there was an earthquake, and there were scientists on the internet talking about how that earthquake should have created such a shake that it should have created these huge waves that should have wiped out Hawaii. And they didn't wipe out Hawaii. They actually spread long, and, they did hit the islands, but they weren't as destructive. And last night I had a very similar dream. And so I don't know if any of you are picking up on stuff with the planet right now, but there is a lot of interplanetary churning going on. And the sensitive ones that are listening, you might be experiencing this as issues in your body. A lot of digestive stuff is how I feel it. I seriously, I can tell when there's a lot going on in the core of the earth, because my stomach just feels like a washing machine. It's just like sloshing around, and it doesn't typically feel like that. And so this morning that was going on. And so if any of you are picking up on that and you're concerned or you're wondering what's going on, first of all, don't go into fear. Don't start creating story about fear and limitation. that puts you in an old belief system that creates problem. But do tune in and go inward in your meditation and connect with your guides and connect with the planet and listen. As I went in, I just was thanking for the guidance and thanking for the solution, but I also was asking questions and listening to my guides. And what I got is that there is a lot of changes coming. The planet is going through a lot of shifts. And so I should not be worried. I should not be in fear, that I'm safe and I'm protected, but that, you know, holding that frequency of love and light is going to be so important. And that more of us choosing this, it's not just, let's have Tanya love holding the frequency and like everyone else can get off the hook. They don't need to do any of their work. It's me mirroring this to each of you to realize that we're all connected to this. And if we each go into our meditations or inner alignment with Source, holding that vibration of a new earth, of what that feels like to us, and we each hold the frequencies of love and light, instead of going to the old conditioning response of fear, we are collectively going to successfully shift this planet into a higher vibrational frequency and reality. And that is what we're here doing. That is what we've come here to do. And we did not come here to do a poor job of it or fail at it. We came here to successfully achieve this shift. And so if you can tap into your confidence and your inner knowing of your divinity and your power, instead of go into that fearful place of thinking you're weak and small and insignificant, then enough of us choosing the alignment will co-create an amazing shift in reality. So I'm calling on all of you to do your part, because this is going to be all of us that are going to be required to shift. And it's interesting because I have a few things I want to read to you connected with the Syrian thing, because I had that coming in my guidance in meditation in past life regression, like I was having past life memory. And then I today drew Isis card, which I'm going to read one of them to you. I drew two of them, and they're both very connected. One is the Temple of Lapis Lazuli, and it's the goddess of the ancient skies. And it's very much directly connected with the Syrian, the star people of Sirius, and us other celestial beings. And then the other card that I drew is the Lady of the Stars, which is the priestess of Sirius. So, kind of interesting that I drew those two today. But here's what the Lapis card looks like. And I have a crystal here, a lapis lazuli heart, that I'll hold up, and it's very like deep indigo blue, and it's got like little flecks of gold pyrite in it, and it's a very beautiful crystal, very high vibrational crystal, great for third eye. And I'm going to just read a little bit from this card. And what it says is, your soul is very ancient, beloved, and does not only herald from the earth, it holds much special wisdom of star peoples from civilizations far and near, with unique high vibrational awareness that can help humanity transition from a civilization based in fear to a love-based culture. You are guided to come into deeper acceptance of your own inner knowing now. So as I'm mirroring to each of you and speaking to you of being more galactically connected, and how my guides have been telling me, oh, this was a lifetime where you were connected to the Andromedan star system, and this is one where you were in the Syrian star system, and they're telling me this, and I'm remembering all these memories. To some people that maybe aren't as open, they might be like, Tanya's nuts. Like, what is she talking about? She's talking about being an alien, an angel? What is going on? But really, I'm remembering and owning more of my divinity, of the vastness of what my soul has been and where it has come from, and being a highly evolved being that has understood my connection with Source my whole existence here, and is here to be a guide and a way shower for humanity to help us shift out of the so-called reality that we're used to, which is fear and manipulation, greed, suffering, separation, chaos. Like, this is kind of what we've been conditioned to believe is the earth experience. But we're here to shift that into a higher frequency of love and harmony, bliss, abundance, wholeness, This is where those who are highly evolved beings, we come from this. We know this feeling. We know this vibration. And so for some of you listening, if you've struggled being here on the planet Earth for many years and it's been a struggle and it feels heavy and hard to be here, I honor you and I bow to you with love, light, and compassion, because I know exactly the feeling of that. But it's partly because we're not used to this dense, heavy vibration. And what's key for each of you listening is, and for the clients I work with, what I help them with is to remember that you didn't come here to be like the ones that are here. You didn't come here to conform, to blend, to belong. You came here to actually be way showers of a new vibration. So if we get distracted and we need to be popular, accepted, and have everyone just like us, we're too afraid to speak truth. We, have been told when we were children we were weird or whatever it is. We're going to actually stunt our own growth and expansion, and we will hold back our gifts from humanity. So that doesn't ever feel very good. So if any of you feel like you've been conditioned to be quiet, to hold your gifts secretly inside, to, hold back your truth, to sit at your family gatherings and just feel like the awkward one, I encourage you to stop doing that, stop choosing that, and start choosing to own your divinity and own your power and really embody your light and your truth. And you know that truth, it's in you, you can't deny it. And to really start to express that, but only when it feels like you're around beings who are actually open and receptive. Like, speak your truth anytime, but you don't need to ever be in a place where you're in a space of being defensive or, you need to prove yourself. But do know that you need to actually embody your light and divinity and be you, because if we're denying that, we're going to feel uncomfortable. So for a lot of us that are just now going through a lot of shifts and we're clearing a lot of past life stuff, we're remembering a lot of past lives, experiences and our gifts, our magic, our talents. We want to just be open and receptive to that coming in and channel that in, and not be, in our thinking, don't be limited thinking that you can't be these other things and you can only be one thing. Like if you're limited thinking all I am is a human, then you really shut off the valve of consciousness of the vastness of what you really are. And so I'm going to mirror that to you, to own that instead of be ashamed of it, and to realize you came here to help shift this consciousness, this collective consciousness, into a higher vibration. We didn't come here to participate in the misaligned systems. We're here to create new ones that actually work and that are from harmony and balance, because we've done this before. This is not new for us. Okay. And on that note, as I keep reading, if any of you want to write in with questions or comments, please do. If some of you know that, actually, Tanya, I know I'm from another star system and my guides have been saying that to me, or I've had dreams about that, or, hey, I have a question. How do you know if, who you're communicating with? Whatever. Just bring it in. I encourage it. And if you want to call in, 919-518-9773. So reading on, it says, ancient souls with experience of consciousness and community from more spiritually advanced civilizations are here on this planet to be themselves to the fullest extent possible in order to help support each other and heal human culture so that this planet may thrive. Boom, right there. The challenge can be that such ancient souls often feel out of place here on Earth for a time as they go through an adjustment process and remember their healing mission on this planet. These souls hold much inner wisdom of star peoples and civilizations far and wide in this galaxy and beyond it. This inner wisdom vibrates at a higher level than the frequencies of fear, aggression, dominance, and disconnection that are part of the global human wounding that they are here to help. I need water today. This is why ancient souls are needed, of course, to help offer a different reality, which is more whole and connected to oneness and love. But the challenge is not to lose belief and honoring of your own true inner wisdom and deep soul truth while becoming a member of the culture that is still so different from yours. So in essence, you've come here and you've embodied a human form, but don't let go of who you are in your consciousness to, be caught up playing the human part where you forget your divinity and then you start playing small. This oracle comes to you to provide much needed spiritual